Hey, KD2 ETP here. Today, my video is going to be about. This one's kind of going to be geared towards the new ham, and I don't know, maybe even some of you older hams can gain something from this. Who knows? But anyways, buying your first radio when you get your tech license, and I'm going to start right off by saying buy a Bofang. You can't go wrong. They're cheap, and that's the thing. And being new to the hobby and just getting in, you are not going to know what you want out of a radio right away. And there's so many choices out there. There's so many people telling you should buy this radio, you should buy that radio. But in the end, we all have different likes and dislikes, and we're looking for particular features in certain radios and others. And like as a prime example, I have the FT991A, which you've seen in some of my videos, and I have the FT710. And so one thing about the 991A that over here you can see the waterfall display and the spectrum is really nice on this one. And on the 991A, it's not that great. But the thing is, the reason why I bought the 991A was for different reasons than I bought this one for. I like the waterfall display on this one, the spectrum, and it's beautiful and it's nice, but it wasn't that much of a concern for me on the 991A and the reasons why I bought that. And so that's my point, is that there's different features and characteristics and stuff about radios that you'll learn as the hobby goes on, and that's going to change. You're not always going to buy something and think, this is it. This is the end-all, be-all radio for me. So again, like I said, initially you get your tech license, go out there, buy a Bofang. You can't go wrong. They're cheap and they work. I bought my first radio, ham radio that I bought was a Bofang UV5R Plus, like a lot of people. And to be quite honest with you, I had that radio for, 4 to 6 years, something like that. It worked great. And it's for the 20, I think back then I paid $20 for it. How could you go wrong? So when you do get that radio, then you can go around. I would suggest going to some of these clubs and going to some of the club field days, and different ones. Don't go to the same ones, because you'll find that different people have different radios and stuff. And if you go up to any of these hams at any of these clubs or field days, or even, excuse me, oh boy, what am I trying to say here? Some of these ham swap meets, you talk to any of those guys and they got an HT on them or any kind of radio as far as that goes, and you ask them a question about it or you want to know about it, I'm sure you're going to get way more information than you wanted to know. They'd be more than happy to tell you about the radio, why they like it, their favorite points about the radio and that kind of thing. And then I would say typically you're going to want to give yourself, before you spend any kind of money on any radio, I would personally suggest you spend, unless you know right away. I was a guy that, as far as the HTs go, I didn't know that much about them. I didn't really care too much about the HTs at that point, which is, so I wasn't planning on right away going out and buying a new HT. But getting into HF, I actually pretty much knew what I wanted for a radio when I got into HF, because of the what I wanted to do. And, what I wanted to do was get out in the field with a radio. And so I immediately saw an ad for the KX3, and I knew when I saw that radio that that's the radio for me. But an HT is a little different. There's so many different types. Here I got two. I don't have my other one. I only have 3 right now currently, which I think is strange. Usually I have like 4 or 5. But anyways, this one's a TYT. It's a digital transceiver. This one does DPMR, not DMR, but DPMR, which is another type of digital mode. And I think this one will actually do P25, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I bought this one in particular because of the price point on it, and it had a nice screen. This is the Alunce. This is a DMR radio. It's a good entry into DMR if you're interested in that kind of thing. And the price is relatively cheap on that. But my other one that I really prefer for HT is I have a Yaesu Yaesu VX8, which is supposedly a submersible radio. But boy, I don't know, of all the radios that I've had, and I think I've had 10 or 12 different HTs. That one, I love that radio, and I wish they would come out with one similar to it again, but I have not seen one that I think is comparable to that. It's a tri-band really, but they actually put not only do they have 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters, but they also have the 220 band in there, and you can transmit on it, albeit at low power, although it does work on the local repeaters here. From pretty much everywhere I've lived that I've had it, I've been able to hit the repeaters around here running like, I don't know, a half a watt, something like that. But anyways, spend some time. Go to these club meetings, go to the Hamfests, go to the field day events, and talk to these people. Don't just go out and spend hundreds of dollars on a radio. Unless you have it like that. If you have it like that, go ahead. By all means, go out, buy the best radio you can get. I think there's a Kenwood HT out there that, boy, it's almost $1,000 or something like that, which... hey, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. Know somebody who has one of those, and I forget what it is. It's the Kenwood 74A or something like that. I forget exactly what the model was, but to be quite honest with you, the receive on that, it's got like a general coverage receiver on there. You can do sideband and stuff. We've used it at field day when he's been up at my field day events, and it is an interesting radio. For me, I don't know. I just can't see spending that kind of money on an HT, but it is a sweet radio. So there's, like I said, there's so many options out there. Take your time. Don't just rush into it, and see what you like. You know what I mean? And you maybe the UV5R is going to be all you want, and you're just going to want to move right on to something like the Yaesu 991A or the ICOM 9700. Which is the ICOM 9700 is a VHF UHF radio, and that's pretty sweet radio. I would like one of them, I think, but. At some point, I think that'd be a nice bass radio to have in the shack, and I might look into that one of these days. We'll see. I do like the 991A, the Yaesu, and I think that, like I said, would be a great like field day radio and stuff because it has the 2-meter 440 on it. And HF as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make that my full-time field day radio and use like a 9700 here, whatever. But go out there, look, spend a little time. Don't rush right out and buy something. You're gonna buy more radios, and anybody in this hobby knows that you'll get bored with it, or maybe you'll be looking for new features, or there'll be something else that catches your eye. Just in the last year, I bought 2 new radios for the shack, let's say, and and I'll probably buy more, in another year or two. Who knows? You know what I mean? I might get that 9700. I might get a 7300, so I can see how it compares to the 710. But I would say don't just rush right out. Like I said, unless you have it that way, don't rush right out. There's no reason to rush. Those Baofengs and stuff like that. You can even get a DMR Baofeng if you want to play around with that. Real cheap. And, and if it's something that you like, then you can go out and buy one of the real nice DMR HTs or another type of HT, And, that's something like I'm going to be doing here shortly. I'm actually... thinking about getting an HT that has a Yaesu one that has the Fusion on it. Since I've been playing around with Fusion on the 991A, I kind of like it a little more than I did initially. And not because I'm just not a big digital guy, but I do like the ease of the Fusion. So, but that's just me, And again, don't take anybody's advice. You look into what you want and what you want to do with your radio. That's the thing. And, and you're not going to know that right away. There's so much out there. And go to these clubs, go to these field days, go to these Hamfests. When you see somebody with something and you want to take a look at it, ask them. All those guys are more than happy to, allow you to take a look at it, play around with it. You're not going to break it. You know what I mean? Unless you drop it or something, so be careful of that. But, take your time, figure out what you want, and buy the one that, after you get your initial one, buy the one that really is going to do the things that you want it to do. So, well, I hope you found this somewhat informative, and maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But, you know me, I like making these videos. So like, subscribe, comment, all that nonsense. Or not. I don't care. I'm not doing this. I'm not getting monetized for this. I'm doing it for the fun of it. I'm doing it to maybe help out some people who are interested in the hobby like me. I enjoy doing the videos. I really do. And it's a little bit of a pain. I don't have all the best equipment or anything. And, because like I said, I'm putting out my own money on this. So, and I'm doing it for the fun of it. So, as time's gone out, I've been, even in this part of the hobby, I've been buying new stuff. I bought this new microphone and things like that. So, it's an evolving hobby, and you're going to change, and you're going to buy radios and sell radios just like everyone else. So, KD2 ETP 73, y'all.